Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Trial. Today we'll speak about the adulteration in our food habits. So, what do we get in the market? The food items are how to identify the adulteration and ultimately what are its impact. So, if we consume a adulterated food, so what are its impact? That is what the discussion will be. Coming directly, so most of the products what we are getting today is adulterated, and they are causing a long-term effect on a common man. Specifically speaking about without oil, one cannot prepare any food without oil. So directly speaking about the oil adulteration in India, it's I think deep root. And why it is in deep root is so to prepare the edible oil, for example groundnut oil, 1 liter groundnut oil, if you manufacture at home in a small machine, minimum what we require is minimum 3 kgs of groundnut is required to produce 1 liter of groundnut oil. So 1 kg of groundnut will cost you 120 rupees multiplied by 3, almost 360 rupees plus labor plus electricity is required. Almost per liter of groundnut oil, if you manufacture at home in your own machine, it will cost you not less than 400 rupees. So then, how come the same groundnut oil which is available in the retail market for under rupees 100 is the biggest question. And this is nothing. The answer is very simple. What you find it for 100 rupees, it is just impossible. One cannot manufacture for 20 rupees and sell in a retail for 100 rupees per liter of groundnut oil or any other oil. It is just next to impossible. So possibly by this we can draw a conclusion that edible oil which is available for cooking in the market is nothing but an adulterated oil. And how it has been done? This is the biggest question which need to be answered. And how to identify an adulterated oil with a healthy edible oil is the biggest question. Two things will be, and what are the legal aspects of this? Who is the body to control all this? In India, there's a body called as Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, which is responsible to identify all these adulterations and ensure smooth functioning of food items. But due to involvement of the corrupt officials, these mafias are working in a full trend and coming directly to the edible. How it is adulterated is the question. So if you manufacture at home with your own machines, that is called as a soft press. Or in earlier times there is something called as they used to use the bullock to in a small manufacturing place where they used to reproduce the oil. That is called soft press. And there's something called as hot press. Usually now the refining oil, whatever we get, it is manufactured in a hot press, and mostly in this hot press, most of the ingredients are removed from the oil at various levels of chemical processing. They call it as degumming, neutralizing, bleaching, deodorizing, and winterizing. So coming these are the process, chemical process which is involved by heating the oil and removing the byproducts. By bleaching, they remove all the fat inside the oil and sell it to bakery industry and food industry. And by adding carbon and the bleaching process, they remove all the odors, taste, everything. They sell it to different industry. And another chemical process which is involved in the byproduct is the soap oil. There's also a soap oil which is the soap oil which is liberated. They are sold it to soap industries to wash and sanitization. So like this in the process of refining, so-called refining the oil stage by stage, adding the chemicals, they remove all the important item and minerals and important ingredients which are required for human body, for a healthy human body, and they sell it. Ultimately at the last stage, what the ultimate dust or the tar, what you get the last product. For that it is understood and it is unofficially told that for this to greater extent paraffin is mixed to this last waste product and processed. The same thing has been sold as edible oil in the market. And that is how the adulteration has been done. And through that, this cheapest oil can be manufactured is the This is what one can understand, and ultimately how to identify healthy oil with a adulterated oil is a question. Every time we cannot take it to lab and find it out, and labs also find it difficult even to give a genuine report, because involvement of this mafias, the oil mafias, we are into adulteration. So how to a common man can easily identify naturally, by the God's grace, our skin can identify. If you apply an oil here, and I presume if it is healthy edible oil, if you apply it here, within 60 seconds the skin will absorb, and the oil get disappeared. If it is an healthy oil, and if it is an unhealthy adulterated oil, if you apply it over here, even if it is, now forget about 1 minute, even if it stays for a whole day, that becomes sticky, and you have to apply soap to remove this. This is the characteristics of an healthy oil and unhealthy oil. Healthy oil the skin absorbs, and unhealthy oil our skin doesn't absorb. And naturally you can find it out, what is an healthy oil and what is an unhealthy oil. And to be frank with you, and what are its impact? See, if you consume this, paraffin, and what is paraffin? This paraffin is, it doesn't have color, it doesn't have smell, it doesn't have odor. And this paraffin is a byproduct, in a petrochemical refinery. While manufacturing petrol, if you get a 3 liters of petrol, 1 liter of paraffin is when byproduct is liberated, and this paraffin is a waste product which usually they used to throw into sea earlier times, and now due to huge demand, and they are not able to throw anywhere. Now this paraffin, which is a byproduct of a petroleum products, is now which is in hand in glove with the edible oil mafia. This edible oil mafia, they for 10 liters of paraffin, if you just add 100 ml of groundnut oil, the entire the entire paraffin get convert itself into groundnut oil. If you add 100 ml of coconut oil to 10 liters of paraffin, the entire 10 liters get converted into the coconut oil. This is the characteristics of the paraffin. Due to this special characteristics of the paraffin, the what do you call the edible oil mafia is easily able to adulterate the edible oils and sell it to the common man. And even the common man is also find it very difficult even to identify at this level, because of its the characteristics of the paraffin, because it easily get converted, and even to test at the labs they find it difficult due to involvement of this mafia. Even the labs find it difficult to give genuine reports, and a lot of pressures on them also. So completely understanding all this, so what are its impact? See, the human body is designed only to take a healthy edible oil, which is manufactured from which is liberated from the seeds. But in case of the edible oil from the seed, we are giving them paraffin or the petroleum byproduct. What is its impact on our body is the biggest question. See, firstly, the body, while consuming every day for a period of time, our body will lose the resistance power to fight with the diseases, and multiple failures of the organs, and apart from this, heart disease, kidney failures, and what you call cancer is the most common thing out of this adulterated edible oil, which makes an impact and to greater extent. So keeping all this in mind, so how to be healthy means manufacture your own oil by purchasing, by paying 20,000 rupees, you'll get a machine to manufacture. I mean, you can get small machines for domestic purposes, which you get in the market, while pouring a seeds on the top. I think to get 1 liter of groundnut oil, you need 3 kgs of groundnut, approximately 2.5 to 3 kgs, and your health is I think protected by using this good healthy oil, or else it is very difficult even to its impact health and its impact on our life. See, ultimately who is happy? One is the petrochemical mafia, which wanted to dump this paraffin somewhere else. They are happy, and to help them this edible oil mafia will come into picture. They mix in edible oils and sell it to public. This paraffin, which is supposed to be disposed somewhere for non-human use, is been indirectly added into edible oils, which directly gets into our stomach. And who is at loss? The oil manufacturer is happy because he got a place to dump the paraffin, where the edible oil mafia will mix it and sell it to public. Ultimately it come to stomach. Once it come into stomach, it will get into all our body on day-to-day basis, ultimately damaging our immunity power, our health. Ultimately we become a piece of object for hospitals. Ultimately, when we get a disease, we have to knock the doors of the hospitals, and the hospitals will take a help of a pharmacy. So by converting this by contamination or adulteration of this oil, the oil mafia, the edible oil mafia, which is adultering this oils. Apart from this, the pharmacy, the hospital industry, all these four are happy. The only unhappy person who will end up, slowly in a dead body or in a lab is ultimately the human being who is using this, adulterated oil, adulterated, paraffin or a chemical, which in the name of oil is, he will be the victim of all this. Anyhow, this is the information which we wanted to share with in this video, just making an alert, giving alert message to the public. Sorry, our interaction may not be good because the language, it's my English is not that good and sophisticated. Still, I try my level best to speak out in English and explain you this matter, because we wanted to reach more and more people across the globe, and that is what the ultimate goal we have. And by presenting this, a small topic on adulteration of oil, its impact, and how to identify an adulterated oil, and what are the characteristics of healthy oil, and what are the characteristics of paraffin, what is paraffin and where it is generated, and which all the mafias involved in adultering this cooking oil, and who is profit, and who is having profit on it, and who is at loss. Ultimately the human who consume this chemical or a paraffin as an oil to the body is the ultimate victim, and ultimately he will land up either with the hospital, or he'll become a I think lab testing piece for a lab for one is for hospital, another is pharma industry, ultimately helping this adulterated mafia which are selling this edible which are selling this oil this chemical and paraffin as an edible oil, and helping the petrochemical industry. And this is the things which we wanted to present, this one. And it's basically we need stricter laws and greater awareness, to bring out all this, expose all this. Everything is happening in a sealed format, and very little known to very less segment, and all this activities happens in a sealed way, where a common man or a system will come to know everything is, and this need to be cracked, and it is the job of the government to do this. Ultimately, just presenting this adulteration, I'll close my topic. Thanks a lot.